Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the medium in the middle. This podcast is going to walk you through my journey into mediumship and how I came to realize that I could communicate with souls that have passed over. My adventure started just over a year ago when unusual situations started happening to me. It wasn't until I really started to pay attention to them that it all started to come together. I wrote down everything that I was experiencing this past year in a little black book, and this podcast is going to be a recap of all of those memories leading up to where I am today in my mediumship journey. I will be releasing new episodes every Tuesday, and I recommend listening to the podcast in order, starting with episode 1, as my story will unfold more week by week. If you would like to stay connected with me, follow me on Instagram at mediuminthemiddle. Welcome to episode 38. I'm very excited for this episode because I have a big announcement, and I know I'm always excited for every episode, but if you're not doing what you love, then what's the point? So welcome. Today we are going to be talking about Distance Reiki. I want to talk about it. What is it? What do I feel about it? What did I feel about it? A lot of you know that I was practicing distance for a long time, and I want to share my experience with that. And then I have a big announcement to make. So stay tuned for the end of the episode where I will talk about that. But before we jump into today's episode, I want to pull a card for everybody. So again, I am pulling from an oracle deck. I use the Colette Baron Reed Enchanted Map deck. I use it every time. I've gotten a few DMs saying that I should try new decks, but I really just want to learn how to use one. Keep it simple. That's my motto. So I asked the universe, what do my listeners need to know? I asked the card deck what you need to know today, and I got card number 17, Ghostlands. So I'll read you the description. So the short card description at the beginning says, you can learn from the past and imagine a beautiful future, but you must live in the here and now. The full card description. Whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you run the risk of losing your footing. For rarely do the present and future match up exactly on the enchanted map that is your life story. The future has no substance right now. It is a place that has no grounding as of yet. You can't live there, yet you can take measured steps towards a goal or dream. These steps are important now. The same goes for nostalgia. You can look into the past wistfully and remember the beautiful moments or revisit lessons learned. However, you can't live there, nor can you go back and change what was. Yesterday is gone forever. Live fully in the present. The now is the most powerful place to put your attention. Its magic reaches out in every direction, further than the heart and soul can see. Oh my God, I feel like this card was pulled for me and not for you, but maybe for both of us. This so makes sense with me right now and what I'm going through, and especially now that things are starting to open up. Alberta is still in phase 1, but Banff reopens today. So it's super interesting of what's going to be happening and just looking into the future with work, what's that going to look like, and just remembering to be present. I was actually looking at my personal Instagram, and I had posted like 7 photos since quarantine has started. And before that, my last photo was posted in December, so around Christmas time. And I was just thinking, wow, I've never had enough time to post photos. And then I was like, no, that's not true. I've never been doing anything to post photos. So I'm always working. I like to work. I'm not complaining, but I usually work 7 days a week. So I usually don't have anything to post on my Instagram. But now with all this time on my hands, I've been going on walks and doing things that I would normally not have time to do. So I've been posting pictures, and they're all of just me by myself. But it was just interesting to think of the way life gives you little gifts that are maybe disguised as something else. So that was card number 17, Ghostlands. As always, if you want to see what the card looks like, I post it on my Instagram story every Tuesday, so you can go there and check it out. but it is from, again, the Colette Baron Reid, the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. I got this deck when I did my Reiki Masters course, and I just love it. All right, so let's jump in to this week's topic of Distance Reiki because I have a lot to say about it. And then I have a surprise at the end, which I'm sure a lot of you already know about, but I'm really excited to share. So, Distance Reiki. Let's just start with the basics. What is it? So, essentially, it is Reiki from afar. So, normally, Reiki is done when the client is in front of me on a massage bed and I'm in the room working on them. I lightly touch them or my hands hover above them. I normally always touch my clients. I don't do the hovering thing. I prefer touch, but if someone doesn't like touch, I don't have to touch them. But normally Reiki for me is with touch. We're just going to say that. So Distance Reiki is doing the same energy work from a distance. So you're not in the room from me. You can be in a different house. You could be in a different town. You can be in a different city. You could be in a different country. You could be across the world. And Distance Reiki will do the same healing as if you were in front of me. I know, I didn't believe it either at first. I'm going to be completely honest. I was not about distance for a long time. And I couldn't stand behind it because I didn't get it. So my brain is a very logical thinking brain, and I didn't understand how I could connect with someone in Australia, for example, and do healing on them when they're on the other side of the world. And it was always explained to me that we're all connected and la, but it just didn't make sense to me. I can understand how I can communicate with souls. I get it. Your soul doesn't go anywhere, so your energy is still around. So that's how I can get messages from it. It's kind of like you don't go anywhere, you just turn invisible. Like there's just a bunch of ghosts floating around everywhere. And that's how I can talk to you because you're not gone. I can understand that and wrap my head around it, but just Distance Reiki took me a lot longer to wrap my head around. For me, I like to understand something, get good at it, practice before I ever offer it. I'm not going to offer something when I don't feel confident about it. I want to make sure I'm good at it and I enjoy it before I start to offer it. So this is why, for everyone who has been sliding into my DMs for the past year, nearly, I have been saying no to Distance Reiki. I wasn't interested in it. I liked working on people when they were in front of me, and I just didn't see a need for it, and I just thought it wasn't for me. So I'm going to just explain how Distance Reiki works and dive deeper into that more because I had to do this in order for me to wrap my head around it, and it was only in learning more about it that I really understood it. And now I like it. I really like it and I do it. So it's changed my mind. So I want to share that experience with you so that maybe it could change your mind. Or if you're already about it, I'm just on the boat now. So let's start from a Reiki training perspective. So in level 1, you are taught how to do Reiki on yourself. So the purpose is for self-healing and just getting to know Reiki and getting to know your chakras. Level 2 is to do Reiki on other people. So you're taught how to do a session on others, and you're also taught the symbols. So the symbols are used to enhance the healing. So it kind of makes everything faster. I've talked about getting the master symbol in the podcast and how I didn't use it for a long time, but now I use it. So if I want to do Reiki really quick on someone, I'll use the symbols. If I am Reikiing your walls, I'll use the symbols. If I am Reikiing the car before we drive or my hands before I work, I do the symbols on those items or objects. So originally the symbols were only given to level 2 practitioners. So you had to be given these symbols, and it was only when you were ready to use them that you were given them, which is why they were so sacred. Now with the internet, anyone can Google it and they'll pop up. But even on my sheets for my Reiki level 2, it said that these symbols are not meant to be shared with anyone who isn't level 2 certified. I still try to do my best with this. I don't show anyone the symbols. And I will usually only discuss the symbols with people who have their Reiki level 1 or 2. So in terms of level 1, I'll be like, when you get your level 2 in the symbols, this will be a lot easier for you. Or if someone's not sure how to use the symbols with level 2, I'm very happy to talk to them about that. So in level 2, when you get the symbols, you're given a distance Reiki symbol. The distance Reiki symbol is called the Han Sha Zen Shonen, and the meaning is described as the Buddha in me reaches out to the Buddha in you to promote enlightenment and peace. It is also thought to mean no past, no present, no future, and it is used to heal past, present, and future. So the Han Sho Zen Shonen transmits the Reiki energy healing across distance, time, and space. So this symbol is also used in the Reiki attunements, so it's a very powerful symbol. It is listed as the most powerful symbol that is given in Reiki level 2. And to be honest, I didn't use it for a very long time because it's a very complicated symbol to learn and memorize. So you're meant to memorize all of the symbols because you use them with your fingers. And I didn't memorize the Hasha Zen Shonen at the beginning. I still like to look at the photo just because it's a long one, but I do feel more comfortable in it. So when you learn this symbol, you are taught that you can do distance Reiki. So you don't need to be beside the person. Think of it almost as if the healing goes on a plane through this symbol and goes to your destination. I'm really trying to make this super easy to understand. So the basis of Reiki is that it's a universal life force energy, and we're all part of the life force energy. It's the basis of we all are one, we're all one collective energy, so we're all connected. It's the same thing as right now everyone's talking about how empaths are feeling the collective energy and the collective mourning and loss, everything that COVID has done. A lot of people are just feeling low and down. That's my easiest way to explain this is you're able to shift someone's energy. So even if you're not beside them, you can still do it and you can still tune in. So for a while, I didn't practice distance because I didn't know what to do and I just felt weird and phony doing it. So I didn't practice it. And then when I went to do my Reiki Master's course, I told Lois that I wanted a big focus to be on practicing distance because I wasn't comfortable with it and I just wanted to get better at it. So she said, okay, that she would help me and we would practice distance Reiki as part of my Master's teacher's course. So we started right away and I was really nervous. The woman that I was practicing Reiki on in the afternoon, in the morning, first we did distance. So we just started where she sat on one side of the room and I sat on another side of the room and we didn't face each other's. So I faced one wall and she faced another wall. And then Lois told me to connect to her body. So she kind of told me, starting from my crown, imagine that my body was becoming her body. So she said, once my body fully becomes her body, then I can start Reikiing myself because I'll know where to go because my body will be her body. And I was like, okay, I can kind of get that. So I sat there and I visualized becoming this woman who I had just met, who gifted me the deck of cards that I use at the beginning of the episode. She really enjoyed her session, so she gave me the enchanted map deck. That's an aside. So I tuned in and Lois said to me that for now we're just going to practice tuning into one area because it's easier if we just focus on one area. So the exercise was for me to find where this woman was in pain the most in her body. And I was like, okay. So I sat there and just as if I was giving her Reiki, I started to feel a really strong pain on my right side, right underneath my chest, kind of like underneath my underarm. That's what I shared. I said, okay, I'm picking up this pain here and it's really strong. Like I can feel pain here and here, but this pain is the strongest. And the woman who was sitting across the room said, yeah, good job. She's like, I am in pain in those 3 spots, but you're right. The pain underneath my chest is the worst. So good job. And I was kind of like, lucky guess, Steph. Not really like digging it. I was like, I'm not about it. So then we continue practicing and doing the course. So then Lois asked me to do some distance on her that evening. So when I went home, she said, tonight I want you to practice distance on me. I've been having trouble sleeping and I have a headache. So you try to do some distance on me and then I'll let you know tomorrow how I feel. So I said, okay, Lois, like, of course, anything for you. So I went home that evening and I practiced on Lois from a distance. So I just went back into my text messages to see what she said because I remember she texted me and she said, "My nerve pain in my right arm is gone. Thanks." And again, I didn't really believe her. I just kind of said, "Amazing." Like, thanks, Lois. But this is definitely when I really started to think because I thought, I don't think Lois would lie to me and tell me that her pain was gone where she told me to work on. So the point was her pain was gone and she was able to sleep that night. So she messaged me that in the morning. So then I was like, maybe it does work. So then I started practicing here and there, working on people that I had already worked on. So I kind of thought, okay, you know what? If I've already worked on your energy, it's like I already know your energy. So I feel like it'll be a lot easier for me to do distance on your energy because I can tap in and tune in easier. So this is where I started my distance journey. So I started practicing on people that I had already had sessions with in person. And I live in Banff now, and as I mentioned, a lot of my family still lives in Ontario. So I had a lot of friends and family in Ontario who I had worked on who were super open to me practicing distance on them. And I figured these people maybe wouldn't lie to me and they would tell me if they were actually feeling better after the session or not. So I started to do this and I started to get really great feedback. And I was like, wow, like this does really work. And I just couldn't understand why. So I was talking to very many people about this, being like, what do you think about distance? Like, how does it work? I don't really get how it works. I just know that it works because we're all connected, but I just don't get it. And someone said to me, Steph, why do you have to get it to do it? And I said, well, I'm just a very logical thinking mind. I need to understand it to wrap my mind around it. And they said, well, why can't you just trust that it works? And it's shown you that it works. So isn't that enough? And I wanted to really think that it was enough, but at the time it wasn't. So I needed to go out and do more experiments. So through the podcast, a lot of people listen. And if they know that I do Reiki, many people know that Reiki also is done distantly. So I started to get DMs asking me for distance Reiki, being like, oh, I heard you're a Reiki master. You can do distance Reiki. Can I get a session with you? And I would always say no. So my DMs started slowly. I'd get a few here and there, and then I'd maybe get 2 in a day, 3 in a day, 4 in a day. And then I was like, okay, universe, I hear you. I need to get on my distance Reiki game. This is a thing. People want this. I have a reach with the podcast. I can help. This is what I need to do. So I started another experiment. I decided that I've practiced on people that I know, and perhaps they're lying to me. So I'm going to practice on strangers who won't lie to me, or maybe they will. But in my mind, I was like, strangers won't lie to me. So I put out on Instagram, if anyone would like a session with me, distance Reiki. It was between 20 and 40 minutes, and I opened up 10 spots. They filled in 30 seconds. I was not expecting the response that I got, and I arranged for people all over the world, and I just made sure I just didn't know them. So they were people that just slid into my DMs and said, yeah, I'll help you, and I said, perfect, you're the one. So I sent them all the instructions, and we arranged a date and a time, and then I would send them voice notes as I was working on them, and afterwards I just asked for their honest feedback, let me know how it went. So I did this, and the first 3 went really, really well. And I was like, And then the next 2 went really well. And then they kept going really well. And each time I was baffled. I remember going downstairs to talk to my roommates, just being like, I just finished another Reiki distance session. They're like, oh yeah, how'd it go? I'm like, it went really good. Like, I told them just as much stuff as if they were in front of me. And it just goes way quicker. So what I did notice when doing distance Reiki is that I can get a lot more work done way more quickly than when you're in front of me. And I don't know if it's because I'm not distracted by anything or what, but it goes so much quicker. So I found that in 20 minutes, it was almost like 40 minutes of an in-person session. So I was finding that it was going really, really well. And I just want to read some of the comments that I got because I always like to let you guys in on that. So I'm just going to read 2. So this was a message after I had sent all these voice notes. This was the response. Hey, Steph. Wow, thank you so much. That was a really fun exchange. When I woke up this morning, my right foot was really sore, but it's shifted now and feels good. And the mother energy would be my Nan, my mom's mom. Funny that she popped into my thoughts yesterday quite strong, and I haven't thought about her in a long time. And everything else you said makes sense and resonates with me strongly. So thank you so much for this gift. So in her session, we had talked about her right foot. I said that it might feel weird, and this was the next day she had sent me this. So then I got another message. Hey, Steph, I forgot to tell you a while ago and update you from when you did Distance Reiki for me. At one point, you said you felt like half of my chest was really heavy and the lungs weren't breathing well, etc. And no joke, the next day I went to the doctor and I had COVID and it hurt to breathe. I'm so much better now, but thought it was so crazy that you kind of found out before I did that my lungs were in pain and I was sick. That last one really blew me away because I was like, huh. So then I had this practice with people that I knew after people that I didn't know because I just wanted to keep testing it. And it all went really well again. I started getting all this amazing feedback. As the logical brain thinker that I am, I took my data. So I said, when I practice, I'm getting good results and good feedback. And I've tried many different ways and I've tried on different people, and it just doesn't make sense that all of these people would be lying to me. So maybe this really does work. And at the same time, I was still getting constant DMs for Distance Reiki. So I knew that this was the universe slapping me in the face, telling me to get my stuff together so that I can offer this because this can expand my reach and I can help out so many more people than just those people that I can physically see in Banff. A really great benefit of this podcast is that I can reach people around the world. So then I had a friend reach out to me and she wanted me to do Distance Reiki on her mom in Australia. She said, Steph, can you do a distance session on my mom? She's really not feeling well. And when she was here, you just did magic for when she had a session with you here. So I really want to give her this session. I'm not exactly sure what episode I talked about her mom, but I did speak of this story. Her mom came and I did a session on her, and she was the little old woman who said that her pain was all gone and she was the cutest little thing. So I did 2 sessions on her when she was in Canada, and she had amazing results. She said, I believed in this stuff before. She's like, but now I really do. She's like, I can't believe how I feel. This is incredible. I haven't felt this good in months. And she just absolutely loved the session. I had a real connection to her, so I really wanted to do this Distance Reiki session. So we set up a full hour. She was going to get the whole 9 yards, and she had a lot of pain, so I actually had a lot of things to work on for that time. So we did it, and it was really great, and she had a great time, and then my friend messaged me being like, Steph, it's incredible. My mom feels so much better. I almost want you to do a session for her every week just to help support her with her pain. And it was then that I really sat and I was like, wow, I felt so good after that session. I felt just as good as when I work on someone. And I think because we are in quarantine and I haven't worked on someone else in nearly 3 months, that I'm really missing working on clients. Reiki is my passion and my love, and I love doing it. And not being able to touch anyone for months has been hard, and I didn't realize how much I missed it until I did this session with her over Zoom, and she was in Australia and I was in Canada, and it really worked, and it was this beautiful, moving experience. So it was after that, I was like, Steph, you have to do this. Like, stop saying you're practicing, stop testing things. You need to offer this. And that's when I really kicked my bum into gear to get my website done so that I could properly offer distance all over the world and start saying yes instead of continuing to say no to all these people who were reaching out and taking the time to direct message me, which is amazing. Like, thank you for all of those messages. I appreciate all of you. But it was fear that was holding me back from doing it. So on that note, my big announcement today is, drumroll please, my website is launching today. Woo, 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 woo. So the mediuminthemiddle.com is live today. So what does this mean? This means you can book Distance Reiki sessions for 30 minutes or 1 hour anywhere in the world, wherever you are. This means that I am offering Akashic record readings. I'm done my 30 days. I've done all the practice, and I'm ready to offer sessions. I'm feeling so good with Akashic record readings, so that can be done anywhere in the world. There is also links to listen to the podcast. There is information on Akashic record readings, on Reiki, on Distance Reiki. If you live in the Banff or Bow Valley area, I also offer house clearings where I will come to your house and clear your space. I've been getting a lot of requests for that as well, so that's on the website. Again, if you live in the area, you can also book with me an in-person session. That's on the website. Right now, I'm not working. I will add a disclaimer. Reiki is included with stage 2 and Alberta is still in stage 1. So I actually don't think I'll be back to work until July. So depending on when you're listening to this, I should be back to work by July, fingers crossed, so I can work on you in person. But yeah, I'm so excited to offer this finally. Thank you for pushing me and getting me to do this. And I'm really excited with being able to use the podcast platform to reach people around the world. So I do want to address one thing, and that is that mediumship readings are not offered on the website, and they're not offered in person either, but I feel like this is going to be a common question of people asking for mediumship readings. So I want to talk about this just for a few minutes to explain why I'm not offering them yet. So just as with Distance Reiki, where I practiced and tested and practiced and tested, I don't like offering something until I'm good at it, like really good at it, and I'm confident and I know that I'm going to deliver results. And this podcast has been a journey of my mediumship development over the past 2 years, but it's only been 2 years. So a lot of the people that we see on TV or read about have been doing mediumship for 10 years or 20 years, and they're good and they're on it. And I'm not there yet. So I'm still practicing and developing and learning and doing practice sessions, but it's not something that I feel comfortable with offering yet because I want to be good at something when I offer it. And right now, you'll still probably get something when we do Reiki together, but I just don't want to guarantee it, and I don't want to advertise that yet. If it happens, you're meant to get the message, and if it doesn't happen, you're meant to get the healing. So I wanted to address that, and I am taking courses, and I'm reading, and I'm practicing, and I'm working on developing my mediumship, but Reiki is my base and where I feel strong in, and this is what I want to start with offering first. And then being able to add Akashic readings was just like a little cherry on top because I was able to take a course during quarantine to learn about Akashic readings, and that was really cool because I mentioned this before, but I feel like the Akasha gives people answers. And a lot of people look to me for answers, and I just don't believe that I'm the person to provide that. But if your own energy is giving you answers, I'm all about it. So you can book Akashic record readings. If you want to know more about the Akashic record, go back and listen to episode 34 and 36 because it'll give you everything you need to know about the Akashic records. I talk about how to make questions to get the most out of your Akashic record readings. And I will also have all that information on the website. And when you do book, you will also get an email with all that information so that you're fully prepared for your session with me. So I'm really, really, really excited that this is finally live. I've worked so hard on it. I am a one-man show, so I've designed the website. I record and edit my podcasts. I do it all. So it did take a lot of time, and I appreciate everybody's patience. But we are live as of today. Sometime today it will be out. I'm not sure when. But by the time you're listening to this, www.themediuminthemiddle.com will be live. It'll be linked on all of my socials, and it'll also be in the show notes, so you can just click it and check it out. you can make an appointment, you can message me, you can check out my information. So I'm really happy to share that. So I hope you learned something today about Distance Reiki or Reiki and you enjoyed this episode. I have been waiting to make this episode for a while because I wanted to share this experience when the website was launching so that I could say, finally, now I can say yes to your Distance Reiki requests. So if you want to book an appointment, head over to themediuminthemiddle.com, themediuminthemiddle.com, and it'll show in your time zone, and everything is in Canadian dollars. So it's really great for Americans. It's probably super cheap for you guys. And I'm excited to connect with a lot of you from the podcast. I'm really excited for the reach that this podcast can get and being able to see and help more people than I could in my little tiny mountain town. So thank you for listening. If you are new here, please press subscribe. I release new episodes every Tuesday. And if you are an iTunes user, I would love, and appreciate a rating and a review. It really helps people find me in the podcast world. So the more ratings and reviews, the better. So if you have a few moments, if you could click 5 stars and leave a little sentence or two, I would really appreciate it. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the website. Thank you for listening. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle, and I will see you all next week on the podcast or online on the website. Have a great week, everybody.